Up in the skies, fighter jets scream power, speed, and raw technological dominance. Countries don't hold back, dumping hundreds of billions to build these beasts. So, which fighter jets carry the heaviest price tags? When you mix the words fighter jet and expensive, one name stands out as the ultimate combo: the Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor. Priced between $150 and $170 million a pop, this isn't just a jet, it's the crown jewel of U.S. air superiority. The F-22 was engineered to own the skies, wiping out enemy planes before they even know it's coming. To do that, it has to ace every brutal requirement: stealth that makes it a ghost, supersonic speeds without breaking a sweat, sensors that see everything, and combat systems that are straight up futuristic. On the firepower front, it packs 6 AIM-120 AMRAAM air-to-air missiles and 2 AIM-9 Sidewinders, all stashed in internal bays to keep its stealth profile clean. It's also got a 20mm M61A2 Vulcan cannon for dogfights and can carry guided bombs like JDAMs or GBU-32s for ground missions. But the real magic isn't the weapons, it's the stealth. The F-22's radar cross-section is about the size of a marble, making it nearly invisible to modern tracking systems. A special radar-absorbing coating makes that possible. Beyond stealth, it's a beast in maneuverability thanks to twin turbofan engines pumping out top-tier thrusts. It can hit supersonic speeds without afterburners, saving fuel and letting it cruise fast for longer, which amps up its battlefield edge. And it's not just about flying fast. The Raptor's radar can spot and track multiple targets over 200 kilometers away, flipping frequencies to dodge enemy jamming. That makes it a silent predator, taking out threats before they even clock it. Chasing that kind of tech perfection doesn't come cheap, though. The stealth coating peels in rough weather, so technicians have to constantly inspect and patch it, driving up costs for every flight. Each hour in the air burns through about $80,000 for the Air Force. Another reason that's so pricey, they only built 195 of them. Mass production cuts costs and streamlines supply chains, but the F-22 went the opposite route. Every component, electronics, radar, sensors, and weapons, is crazy expensive because they couldn't scale up production. Plus, Congress slapped an export ban on it, a rare move in U.S. military history, so there's no recouping costs through foreign sales. The U.S. has to cover all the R&D, testing, and rollout costs solo. Worried about leaking stealth secrets, they can't share maintenance, training, or parts logistics with allies. That piles on the expenses, so the price for jet keeps climbing. The Air Force says keeping the fleet flying until 2030 could cost $9 billion just for fuel, maintenance, and spares. That's the state price of ruling the skies. Next up, we've got the F-22's cousin, the Lockheed Martin F-35, the Lightning II. This 5th-gen standout runs $100 to $110 million per jet, depending on the model. It's not just a fighter, it's a whole new combat philosophy, blending air-to-air, air-to-ground, recon, and electronic warfare into one slick package. For weapons, it carries 4 to 6 AMRAAMs or Sidewinders in internal bays to stay stealthy. It can also haul smart bombs like JDAMs, SDBs, or AGM-158 JASSM cruise missiles. Need more firepower? Slap extra weapons on external hardpoints for serious battlefield impact. The F-35's real strength isn't speed or guns, though. It's the stealth and sensors that turn it into a flying supercomputer, crunching and sharing huge data loads to let pilots make quick decisions. That's thanks to some seriously advanced tech. The electro-optic distributed aperture system is a game changer, with sensors all over the jet giving pilots a full 360-degree view of their surroundings. Pair that with electro-optic targeting and infrared tracking, and they can lock onto enemies without using radar. A massive combat advantage. The cockpit's like a sci-fi command center, running on 8 million lines of code. That software pulls together all incoming data and displays it clearly on a single touchscreen so pilots can track the battlefield and plan strategies in real time. But leaning so hard on software makes it vulnerable. Glitches or update issues can ground entire squadrons. There was even a test where the F-35's gun wouldn't fire because the software wasn't fully baked, sparking concerns about reliability with all that complex tech. Maintenance is a beast too. It's cheaper than the F-22, but still pricey overall. A 2023 report from the Government Accountability Association says the Pentagon's looking at over $2 trillion for the F-25's full lifecycle, buying, running, and maintaining it over decades. The complex systems are tough to service, and parts replacement is a huge cost driver. High-tech components like infrared sensors and stealth coatings wear out faster than expected, and you can't just fix them on site. They go back to factories, spiking costs. The A-list logistics system, meant to streamline maintenance, turned into a mess with frequent errors and downtime, slowing repairs and inflating budgets.
they're switching to a new system Odin, but that transition's eating up time and money. Training pilots and techs for the F-35's intricate systems and modern cockpit isn't cheap either. It takes long sessions with specialized simulators, pushing operating costs higher. The F-35 is a tech marvel, but it shows the massive price of chasing air dominance.
Now let's turn to China, a nation that's been pushing hard to challenge the U.S. for the top spot in both economic and military power. Lately, they've been pouring resources into modernizing their arsenal, with a big focus on owning the skies. That's where the Chengdu J-20 comes in, nicknamed the Mighty Dragon, clocking in at about $110 million per jet, making it one of Asia's priciest fighters. Built by the Chengdu Aerospace Corporation, the J-20 isn't just a tech leap for China's military, it's a loud statement in their race to match Western powers, especially the U.S. Its sleek, aerodynamic design screams performance. A long fuselage, a sharp nose, delta wings paired with canards for killer high-speed agility. Early on, it leaned on Russian engines, but China's now rolling out homegrown ones with beefier thrust and longer range. The J-20 hits an estimated top speed of Mach 2.0 and has a combat radius of about 2,000 kilometers, letting it project power in strategic hotspots like the South China Sea or Taiwan Strait. Its radar, built entirely in China, can track multiple targets at once, though its accuracy and resistance to jamming haven't been fully battle-tested. Still, slapping an AESA radar into a stealth airframe is a huge deal, showing how China's defense industry is closing the gap with the West. When it comes to firepower, the J-20 is built for long-range air combat, carrying 4 PL-15 missiles in its central bay. These are China's go-to air-to-air weapons, with a range purportedly topping 200 kilometers, outpacing the U.S. AIM-RAM, gutted by active radar. It also packs PL-10 missiles for close-range dogfights. On top of that, it can carry guided bombs for ground strikes. But what makes the J-20 so expensive isn't just the weapons, it's the massive R&D and production costs. This is China's first fifth-generation fighter built from the ground up. Unlike their earlier jets, like the J-11 or J-16, which were essentially Russian derivatives, the J-20 was developed entirely in-house. Radar, electronics, stealth materials, aerodynamics, engines, all under the West's watchful eye. That made the program a money pit and a time sink. Going after stealth tech meant investing in costly advanced materials, precision manufacturing, and top-notch engineers. Things like radar absorbent coatings and specialized air intakes are the result of decades of research, not quick fixes. You can see China's sky-high ambitions in that effort, no matter the cost. But it's not just the US and China in this pricey race for air dominance. Europe's got skin in the game too. Enter the Dassault Rafale, a multi-role fighter for the French Air Force and Navy, ringing in at $100 to $120 million each. Kicking off in 1986, the Rafale was designed to do it all: air-to-air combat, ground strikes, recon, electronic warfare, even nuclear missions. That versatility is why this 4th-gen jet costs as much as some 5th-gens. Another big factor, France's insistence on total tech independence. Unlike most NATO allies leaning on U.S. tech, France built everything: electronics, radar, weapons, engines from scratch. That gives them full control but spikes initial costs. From cutting-edge radar and electro-optical sensors to the Spectra jamming system and all the smart bombs and missiles, it's all French-made, driving up the price. For firepower, the Rafale is one of Europe's most flexible jets, hauling a 9.5-ton payload. It's got Mika missiles for mid-range and Meteor for long-range, letting it fight at any distance. It also carries AASM guided bombs and Exocet anti-ship missiles, hitting targets on land or sea hundreds of kilometers away. Plus, it's one of the few Western fighters that can carry nuclear warheads. Since all those weapons are French-made, buying a Rafale means bundling in bombs and missiles, which jacks up the total cost. Another price driver is its carrier capability. The Rafale M variant, built for France's Navy, has reinforced landing gear and arrestor hooks for takeoffs from carriers like the Charles de Gaulle. Carrier ops demand higher engineering standards than land-based jets, bumping up production, maintenance, and pilot training costs. On top of that, the Rafale is one of the most agile fighters out there. Its delta wings and canards keep it nimble at any speed. With a top speed of Mach 1.8 and an 1,800-kilometer range, it can zip the targets and handle attack or defense missions efficiently. That's why it's a hot seller despite the steep price. There was that incident in 2025 where 3 Rafales got shot down by Pakistani J-10Cs, which made some buyers hesitate. But let's be clear, that wasn't about the jet's tack or combat ability. Battles hinge on tactics and pilot skill just as much as hardware. To wrap up today's video, we've got the Eurofighter Typhoon, one of the world's most advanced and expensive fighters at around $115 million a pop. This jet is the pinnacle of European collaboration to boost defense power. Design-wise, it's a 4th-gen fighter with sensors, weapons, and electronics that flirt with 5th-gen standards. It hits Mach 2 and has a 1,400-kilometer range, making it a beast for long-range air defense. For weapons, it's got a 27mm Mauser cannon with 150 rounds, powered by compressed gas. It also has 13 hardpoints, 8 under the wings, 5 under the fuselage, for up to 9 tons of gear, from short-range IRIS-T, AIM-9, and ASR missiles to mid- and long-range AIM-120 and MBDA Meteor. Depending on the mission, it can carry AGM-65 Maverick missiles for close support, KEPD-350 cruise missiles with a 500-kilometer range, or laser-guided payload bombs. That flexibility lets it handle air defense, ground support, or strategic strikes. Beyond weapons, its Captor radar is a standout with one of the widest scanning ranges out there, tracking multiple targets across huge distances. Paired with the Praetorian system for missile threat detection, it's got top-tier defense. But the real reason it's so expensive, it's built by multiple countries. Instead of one streamlined production line, parts are made in the UK, Germany, Italy, and Spain, then assembled together. That setup makes logistics a headache, hard to sync, and drives costs through the roof. Meeting specs from multiple nations also slows progress and inflates development budgets. Another cost factor is its independence from US or Russian tech. Every radar, sensor, weapon, and guidance system is Euro-developed. That strategic freedom comes at the cost of massive R&D spending. By 2023, European nations had pumped nearly 40 billion euros into the Typhoon project. Selling it outside the EU means tweaking it for buyers, which adds even more to the price. Looking at this list of the world's priciest fighters, the costs aren't just about tech. They reflect strategic decisions, defense priorities, and political goals, from the F-35 to the Rafale and the Typhoon. Each jet is a complex blend of engineering, finance, and geopolitics. In a world where air battles can shift wars in minutes, owning a cutting-edge fighter is a massive advantage. That's why, despite the insane costs, nations keep investing in more advanced jets. They're critical to modern military power.